What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Carl Froch, Anthony Joshua. Get this. Carl Froch responds to Anthony Joshua's comment of calling him a clown. And the reason he called him a clown was because of the remark that Carl Froch made about him not being the same, about Andy Ruiz beating the soul out of him. And Anthony Joshua responded like, these guys want me to talk about them, but why would I lower myself by talking about these clowns? Now, to be fair, that's very ironic of AJ, because if you have nothing to say about a person, you don't add a negative or derogatory remark behind it, So Carl Froch, I know, is at least the second clown because Lennox Lewis was the first, because AJ called Lennox Lewis a clown. So, you can't say, well, I'm not dragging myself down by talking about these clowns. That's already negative. So there you go. It's kind of like a slick way of saying I'm not talking about someone, but I am talking about someone, right? So, but how Carl Froch responded was quite clever. He said, well, I want AJ to do well. I use selective words talking about him, and I want him to do the best. I wish him only the best. And that's that. So let me counterpunch on both ends. We've already said what AJ should have or didn't have to say, rather, if he wasn't talking shit at Carl Froch. We know the history between Carl and AJ. And if you don't know, I'll tell you in a second. But what Carl Froch said, though, beating the soul out of someone, that's a diss. I don't give a shit who you are, how you shake it, how you bake it. It's a diss. Someone beating the soul out of you, come on. So you can't say that you're using selective words. Yeah, you're using selective words of shit talk. That's what you're using. I've used selective words. No, you've used selective words to talk shit. Okay, and now the backstory between Carl Froch and AJ. Carl Froch, of course, is older than AJ. AJ come up under Carl Froch because they were both trained by Rob McCracken. Okay, Carl Froch was with Rob McCracken his whole career, as something I think Carl wanted AJ to become. So he's low-key pissed off that he's been through two trainers since leaving Rob McCracken. Okay. On top of that, Carl Froch's claim to fame is having over 70,000 people at Wembley Stadium when he took on his rival at the time, okay, which he broke records. But those records have been broken from AJ, and AJ's records have been broken from Tyson Fury. So, I think because of AJ breaking those records and letting that stand and reign for the longest before the Tyson Fury Dillian White fight, I think, and we've seen the comments get deeper, darker, and more negative from Carl Froch. Okay, so let's just call a spade here. I think there was some jealousy. I think there was some low-key jealousy, and animosity that was kind of under the radar for Carl Froch, but you couldn't help but to notice it because of the things that Carl was saying about AJ. And one of the last things, I have nothing to say about AJ to the slightest. Right? So, yeah, it's there. So stop pretending the elephant's not in the room when it is, okay? And that has always been Carl Froch. He's always had, somewhat of an ego. So there you go. That's the backstory between Carl Froch and AJ in short. However, these guys will always be at each other's neck on the sly. But of course, please subscribe. Tell me what you think. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.